This is not a rumor, it is not an exaggeration, and it is not a political slogan. Long after African nations raised their own flags and sang their own national anthems, certain colonial systems remained quietly in place. Some of these systems did not use soldiers or governors. They used agreements, currencies, and financial rules. Today, we examine one of the least explained post-colonial structures in Africa, what many describe as a colonial tax. This video is not about anger. It is about understanding how economic power operates after independence. Here is the central question we must ask. How can countries that became independent more than 60 years ago still lack full control over their own money? To answer this, we must look closely at the CFA franc system, the financial agreements tied to it, and the long-term consequences for African development. This is not a story of blame, it is a story of structure. To understand the present, we must return briefly to the past. During the colonial era, France controlled large parts of West and Central Africa. Colonial economies were designed to serve French industry, not African development. In 1945, shortly after World War II, France created a currency called the CFA franc. At the time, its purpose was simple: to stabilize colonial economies and secure French financial interests. When African countries gained political independence in the late 1950s and early 1960s, many expected complete economic freedom to follow. But the CFA franc system remained. Today, 14 African countries still use this currency framework, divided into two monetary zones: West Africa and Central Africa. Though the names and symbols have changed, the structure largely remains the same. How the system works. To understand why this system is controversial, we must examine how it functions. First, currency pegging. The CFA franc is tied to the euro at a fixed rate. This means countries using it cannot freely adjust their currency to respond to economic challenges. If exports fall, if inflation rises, if local industries need protection, these governments cannot independently change monetary policy to respond. Second, foreign reserve control. For decades, CFA countries were required to deposit a large portion of their foreign currency reserves into accounts held by the French Treasury. Although reforms have reduced these requirements over time, the principle of external oversight remains embedded in the system. Third, limited monetary sovereignty. Countries using the CFA do not fully control interest rates, money supply, or credit expansion. These tools are essential for industrialization, job creation, and economic growth. Without them, development becomes slow and externally dependent. Fourth, institutional influence. Historically, France has maintained a role within the governance structures linked to the CFA system, allowing continued influence over financial decisions. This is not a tax paid in cash, it is a system that limits economic freedom. Global comparison and consequences. When we compare CFA zone countries to others on the continent, patterns emerge. Many CFA countries export raw materials, import finished goods, struggle to industrialize, and face persistent trade imbalances. Some argue it provides financial stability, but stability without flexibility often prevents growth. Economic development requires the ability to take risks, adjust policies, and invest aggressively in national priorities. Without monetary sovereignty, those choices are restricted. Resistance, debate, and fear. Over the years, African economists, activists, and leaders have questioned this arrangement. Some have called for reform, others have demanded complete withdrawal. Yet fear remains. Fear of currency instability, fear of capital flight, fear of political pressure. This reveals an important truth. Economic independence is far more difficult than political independence. It requires courage, planning, and long-term strategy. Modern relevance. In today's world, economic power determines infrastructure development, industrial growth, employment opportunities, and technological progress. Africa's future depends not only on natural resources, but on control over economic policy. Understanding the CFA system is not about dwelling on the past. It is about recognizing how present structures shape future possibilities. No system can be reformed if it is not understood. History does not end when flags are lowered and new ones are raised. Some systems continue quietly, legally, and efficiently long after independence celebrations. True sovereignty is not only political, it is economic, it is institutional, and it belongs to those who understand how power truly works. Education is the first step towards change. Join the Black Empire community, subscribe below, and comment below what would be next to unpack that should change to build the Africa we want.